My cam went out again.
You're good. All right. Well, welcome to the Breakin Broncos. I was actually muted when I first started talking. Sorry about that, guys. But we lost my partner here for a minute. Dylan Miles is here. I promise that's not just a placeholder. He's just got some webcam issues.
No, this was pre-recorded.
Yes, it is. We are live.
We're not even live. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's greatness. This is the beauty of lives, people. Things like this happen, and we just work through them. So it's all right. As you can hear, he is here. I do promise he will eventually figure out whatever it is.
I don't know what the hell happens with this cam. It's I switch USB slots. I'm like, oh, it's going to be good, and then it just still goes out.
It just pops out. Maybe get some duct tape. Use that a good old country boy ingenuity.
I'll do it when I built my first PC. I zip tied my motherboard in.
That's epic.
Because I didn't have enough screws.
Redneck technology. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, anyways, guys, we are not just here to talk about redneck technology. We are going to have fun because if y'all don't know, the NFL Combine is here, people. The offseason is in full swing. We got the draft coming up. So the NFL Combine, yes, I'm so excited. We got the NFL Combine coming up just tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about Broncos' most important free agent. And I've told y'all, I have teased this, I have talked about it for weeks. I have finally done it. Dan's first mock draft is official, and we will be revealing it's a full 7-round mock draft for the Broncos. I will get into all the details of it later on. We are going to finish the show with it. So let's go ahead and jump into this combine and free agency talk. That way we can get to mock drafting. All right. So speaking of the NFL Combine, like I said, it is coming up tomorrow. Dylan, what are you most excited to watch in spandex?
Ooh, I like me some spandex. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing. I love the broad jump. I love watching the broad jump. Mainly, I love watching the linebackers do the broad jump. But I also can't wait.
The
for
linemen
40.
are the best for me.
Oh, I don't remember which broad jump it was. However many years ago, the guy that broke it with like 12-foot broad jump.
Oh, that was insane. That was the dude that went to the Cowboys and did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I forget his name. He ended up going in like the first round to the Cowboys.
And then was in now the league in like 4 years.
Yeah, he was gone. He was just done.
And no, I can't wait for the 40 too, because the 40 is always fun to watch. 40 is obviously the best event, I still think.
Right. So
Rich
I
Eisen.
like the 40. The 40 is always fun, especially with the linemen. Like, I'm a weird guy. I'm not.
The linemen's my favorite to watch at the combine.
Right. I mean, they're great. And the one-on-one drills between the offensive and defensive linemen, bro. Y'all want to see grown alpha men getting angry and nasty and just moving earth? Go watch them one-on-one drills between the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman, man. You will not see a bigger battle in the entire week. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Really, one of my favorite drills is actually the wide receivers doing the outs, crossers, and all that, like running the different routes.
With the quarterbacks too.
Yes, with the throwers. Like a lot of people don't realize is that the quarterbacks that go to the combine to work out don't throw to the wide receivers. They actually have a special group of what they just simply call throwers. And what's funny is there's actually been a couple of players that have taken that opportunity and gotten drafted in the NFL because of these drills. And that's why I like watching these drills. It's not just watching the wide receivers go out there and, run against air. That's not fun. That's not what I watch for.
Yeah.
I watch for these throwing quarterbacks to see if any of them stand out. and I'm looking for the routes where they're on the sideline and the wide receivers are showing body control. That's where you see the toe drag swag before they get into the NFL. It's where you see whether or not they've learned to use 2 feet instead of 1 foot like they do in college. So that's the most exciting thing for me to watch is those drills with the throwers and the wide receivers. Go ahead.
My favorite thing to watch is the Rich Eisen 40.
You know what? I know it's low-hanging fruit, and I was trying to avoid it, but yes, you are 100% correct. When it comes to pure entertainment at the NFL Combine, it is the Rich Eisen 40 that has become a tradition.
Hey, he's beat his time every year.
Yeah, he's gotten better every year, and it's for a great cause. Like, the guy just doesn't do it for publicity. He's turned it into a charitable thing, so I really like that too.
One of my favorite icons in just the sports talk world, not even just the sports world.
I have to agree. Yeah, Rich Eisen is just one of those dudes. Like, he's just cool as hell. Love to just have a beer with him, most definitely. And he's the pro's pro. He's the consummate pro. I've never once read or heard anything from Rich and just been like, "You're an idiot." Like, never once have I had that. I'm almost every other sportscaster I've ever listened to or read. There's only a handful that I can say I've never just looked at him and been like, "You're a moron."
Oh yeah. I like him and Dan Patrick. Him and Dan Patrick are some of my favorites.
I got to give love to my guy Dan Patrick. I mean, I'm getting a degree with his name on it, so that tells y'all how much respect and love I have for Dan Patrick.
Especially when that man gives them I can't remember if I think it's Dan Patrick. It's either Dan Patrick or Rich Eisen when they have players read their negative draft reviews.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's great. I think that is Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's Patrick. Or no, that is Rich Eisen, because I remember
he was at Super Bowl.
And I remember because that one time that he dressed up like a hairband guy and had to do it. That was great because he lost a bet. Wig and all. It was great. Man. Epic stuff. So yeah, definitely all kinds of awesome stuff to look forward at the Combine. So now we've talked about what events that we enjoy. What positions regarding the Broncos are you looking forward to see as fits, or just to kind of flesh out to see if they do belong in Broncos country?
I'm really looking forward to offensive and defensive lines, both of those. Obviously, because weeks past is what we've talked about the most.
Yeah,
and especially offensive tackles. We're not going to get those big guys, those super big names that they'll definitely be taken way before 9. If everybody you're looking at, I was just looking at a mock draft today, and I just forgot the guy from NC State. I would love to have, but he's projected to go to New York. And I was like, "Oh,
you talking about in the first round?"
Yeah.
Let me see.
From what I've seen from multiple mock drafts, is no,
Jermaine Johnson, the edge from Florida State.
No, the offensive lineman.
Is it Evan Neal or Ikem Ekwonu? Those are the top 2 tackles.
It was Ikem Ekwonu. It wasn't the Giants. It was the Jets.
Jets. Okay, got you. Yeah, Ekwonu I like. I like Ekwonu a lot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that man's a beast.
He could save Zach Wilson's life this next season.
He could. They need to do the Jets and the Bengals, I think, are the ones that should be the most in on the tackle and just really offensive line.
Oh, especially the Bengals after watching the playoffs this year.
Oh my goodness! I mean, that's why they lost the Super Bowl. I went back and looked over them just to see if there's anything else I can point to. But that offensive line, as I had stated the entire week, trying to tell everybody that Joe Burrow is great, but it doesn't matter how great you are if you can't keep your quarterback upright. So yes,
but also it was also one of those things. The fact that they made it that far with that O-line,
right? And so actually, a little bit of a tease, because for those of you that are listening, Dylan has not seen my mock draft yet.
No.
I don't believe so. I think I sent him a link, but I'm not 100% sure.
You did.
So, okay. But I don't think he's seen it yet.
I was waiting for it today.
He should. Perfect. So he should like this draft. That'll be a little tease for you.
I hope so. I hope I don't
Dylan
have to leave.
Should like this draft. I love the little mock draft. I mean, there's some things I would love to do, but again, I don't want to go too far.
I did one mock draft in school, and I was like, I don't want to do those anymore.
I love them.
It took hours. It was all of us in class. It was just sports emphasis this last year. We're all sitting there. We're like, Jesus. It took for a whole week for us to do a mock draft, and we're just like, dude, we're not doing this again.
Wow.
We're doing one show, and we're like, oh my God. It was all of us supposed to do individual and go over it on shows throughout the week, and they're like, no, we got to do it together. We got to do it together.
Yeah, see, I went and did a whole 7, but I also have I have a mock draft simulator. Like, this is how much of a nerd I am, guys. I use a mock draft simulator, and I'd be doing like trades and stuff and like pretending that I'm a GM. So if that gives y'all any indication of how passionate I am.
That's my favorite in Madden. I love playing GM in Madden.
Yes. I mean, that's what I was doing last night too. I was doing a mock draft while also mock drafting in Madden, if that tells y'all just how much of a nut I am when it comes to this stuff. So if that makes you uncomfortable, too bad. This is how we work. This is how we roll here at Tape 42. We are obsessed. So that being said, bouncing off what you said, offensive linemen, defensive linemen are obviously huge. The two players that I am looking forward to seeing the most are Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd.
Oh, Devin Lloyd, of course.
Yes, Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean, those two guys I need to see test. Because as much as I love Devin Lloyd's tape, Nakobe Dean is a freak athlete as well.
They're both freak athletes.
Yes.
But they're different play styles.
A little bit different, yes. Nakobe Dean's more of the sideline to sideline, just field general. He's going to do it all. He's going to blitz. A Micah Parsons kind of clone. Devin Lloyd, he's, like I've said before, he's on that Micah Parsons lane, but maybe a tick below in the athleticism, but a little bit stronger. So Devin Lloyd's a little bit more of, Gerard Mayo, as opposed to Nakobe Dean is more of a CJ Mosley or a Luke Kuechly.
I could see Luke Kuechly I could see.
Yeah. So those are the two players that I'm looking forward to the most. Obviously, also, like Dylan said, I just don't want to just agree with him. I wanted to add some more. But yes, offensive, defensive linemen, because those are two of the biggest needs in Denver. Everybody, again, wants to talk about the quarterbacks, but keep forgetting that for the first time in 40 years, the Broncos didn't have a Pro Bowler. So as much as y'all want to keep talking about the Broncos,
which was BS, by the way, the fact that Jay Sims didn't make it
right. Definitely Justin and Pat had they had arguments. Yeah, they definitely had arguments, but the fact remains this team had no Pro Bowlers for the first time in 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, two players. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The two players I was looking forward to, obviously, Devin Lloyd and Trayvon Walker.
I like Trayvon Walker. That's another good one.
Trayvon Walker. There, so. I mean, obviously, you got Bradley Chubb and you got DeMarc. I'm about to say the wrong name again. Oh, I almost did it. I'm not even going to go for it. I'm not going to attempt it. But obviously,
not doing it.
You could get another edge in there. Obviously, Trayvon Walker would be a perfect edge from Georgia. Man, dominated Alabama in that national championship game with the strip sack.
Yes.
That got called back.
Yes, it did, but hey, the play still matters.
Yeah, I mean,
like the Odell catch that didn't count. So
yeah, Trayvon Walker just definitely reminds me of a mix of Bradley Chubb and Myles Garrett on that. So Myles Garrett, we all know Myles Garrett's a DL, defensive lineman. He's not on the edge. Can go to the edge. That's what I like about Trayvon Walker. You can put him on the edge, or you could put him in the middle of the field, like middle of the line, and he can do he can do whatever he wants.
Most definitely. Hey, and y'all are doing it. As many people in here as we have likes. Look at y'all.
And we see more likes and more people, though. All I'm saying.
Yes, we do. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your cousin, tell your uncle, tell your auntie, tell everybody, because we taking everybody's likes out here. All right. With that out of the way. And also remember, Bird Gang Sports Media Network. Like and subscribe. All the links in the description. Dylan fixed his name. I have my name. We're all good to go here. So remember. Hit them buttons. All the buttons. Even the red ones. I know that they normally tell you don't hit the red buttons. We especially need you to hit the red buttons. Okay? All of them.
I'm sitting here and I just got a text from CMS telling me to take a new course. I'm like, I've done 2. I can't go back.
Right?
I keep getting texts from them. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. I guess they just liked you that much. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of liking people a lot,
A lot.
Kyle Brandt of NFL.com and NFL Network stated that, or he put out a list of one free agent from every single team that has to absolutely, positively, without a doubt, be re-signed. Okay, so obviously he did the Broncos, and it might interest you to know that his choice out of all the free agents, especially on the defensive side, he chose Kenny Young. Now, we've sat here, we've talked about Kenny Young.
We love us some Kenny Young.
Yeah, we love us some Kenny Young. But do you agree he is the most important free agent in Dove Valley?
I'm not so sure. I can see why he thinks he is.
Right.
And I obviously don't have a full list in front of me. I could name off. Here, I'm actually going to pull the list in front of me because we had it on last week.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, see, look. Okay, look. Yeah, looking at the free agents here,
Spot track,
there are
Denver.
quite a bit.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's
especially
a lot.
at linebacker.
I mean, yeah, you look here. You got Malik Reed. You got Josie Jewell, Micah Kaiser, Calvin Anderson, Deontay Spencer, which we both agree Deontay Spencer could go.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Cameron Fleming, Stephen Weatherly, Bobby Massey, Alexander Johnson, Kareem Jackson, Bryce Callahan. There are so many here that Kyle Fuller's free agent too. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah,
Gordon, Bryce Callahan.
Yeah, Bryce Callahan. Oh man, I wish he could. Injuries. No, I can agree with Kenny Young, but if I had to go with anything, I would say Stephen Weatherly. Keep that.
I like the pick.
Keep that defensive line intact.
I like that pick. That's a little bit, off the radar. I like that. That's going a little bit deep right there. I do agree that the pass rushers. I mean, as much as the Broncos have issues, I do need to make a correction. This is me. See here, guys. I will admit that I made a mistake.
Oh, goddamn
I've talked for the last couple of weeks that the Broncos only have 2 linebackers under contract. While I am technically right, the Broncos also have Jonas Griffin as an exclusive rights free agent. So even though he is technically a free agent and he's technically not under contract,
okay, damn it, I'm gonna plug this into my monitor.
Have to do. You're all right. All the Broncos have to do is just give him just sign him to a tender, a really cheap tender.
You don't need to be blowing your whole cap on this man.
Right. And but at the same time, they don't need to because he can't negotiate. What an exclusive rights free agent means is that the Broncos have the exclusive rights to negotiate. So again, he's technically a free agent, but he doesn't get to negotiate with anybody else other than the Broncos. And as long as the Broncos just put an ERFA tender, which is obviously exclusive rights free agent tender, on him, no matter what number they put on him, he cannot go anywhere. So technically the Broncos do have 3. So there's my mistake that I messed up a technicality. So there you guys go. You can never say that I never told y'all. Right? You never thought you'd see the day. I admit I made a mistake and I corrected it on air. So
clip it.
There you go.
Clip it.
Clip it. We're gonna record that. Recorded. Cut. We're done. It's over. I have nothing else left to do. No, I'm just kidding. But
every time you say something, I'm gonna play it back just so you know.
Right there, you go. Have one of those little dump buttons. Boom.
I got soundboard on my computer. Just press the keyboard.
Right. So, but even though the Broncos do have 3 instead of 2 linebackers, that only boosts up the experience level to 6 years.
Yeah.
In total between 3 guys. So they still need it. And obviously the Broncos also have AJ Johnson, Josie Jewell, and Kenny Young all as all as free agents. So with that being the case, this defense, the defense in this draft is stacked.
Oh yeah.
So say the Broncos don't trade their first round pick, they could easily get a better middle linebacker than any one of their free agents.
Devin Lloyd, baby.
Devin Lloyd, Nakobe Dean, they should both be there.
And from what I'm looking at, and we've talked about this before, is we both love us Alexander Johnson. Obviously, we love AJ here. And
Yeah.
I like me some Josie Jewell. The man improved every year.
Yeah.
But
limited.
You can bring one of those guys back and keep Kenny Young. I mean, you can keep Kenny Young and probably get one of them for cheaper, maybe. But I'm not sure. As long as you can keep a Kenny Young, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I think you could get Kenny Young at like the veteran minimum. Last year, he only, I say in quotes, he only made $774,976, which in the NFL, that's essentially minimum wage. Like, yeah. I know that's way more than any of us will probably ever see in a year, but that is the NFL
in our lifetime.
Right. Now you understand why so many men in this world have dreamed from 5 years old to be an NFL player, because even if you're sitting on the bench doing nothing, you're still making $750,000 a year to just sit there, people. But so
the reason I really want Stephen Weatherly to come back is just keeping the veteran, keep a veteran on the defense. Obviously, you got Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson's a free agent. Yeah. But you have you can keep a few veterans on the defense that also they're veterans to the whole team, not just the defense. You got Stephen Weatherly, you'll have a Kareem Jackson, you'll have Shelby Harris.
Yes.
You don't have many of those guys on offense. Technically, I guess the two you could say on offense for veterans really are, I don't even know,
Sutton
and Patrick.
And Bowles now.
Yeah. But Sutton and Patrick are really the veterans on that team. But they're so young. They're not even in their 30s yet.
And the thing about Stephen Weatherly is he's not that old either. He's almost 28 years old. He's a few months away from being 28. So he's still pretty young. He's still probably got some development left in him.
But those years with the Vikings, man.
And you said is Malik Reed a restricted free agent? Because I just have UFAs. I think Malik Reed
is a restricted free agent.
Okay, good. So, yeah, he's not going anywhere. So, yeah, the Broncos need pass rushers, so letting them walk out the door is never a good idea, and you can never have enough pass rushers.
Also on that...
we were just talking about Madden. If y'all see my Madden team, I'm overloaded on pass rushers and cornerbacks. Like, I have 8 cornerbacks on my roster, and I have 9 pass rushers between the defensive line and outside linebackers.
And Deshaun Williams is also a restricted free agent as well.
Nice. So he's not going anywhere either. So yeah, it looks like they'll be able to keep their pass rushers that they have intact, which is a great thing. Now, what I will say is if the Broncos do go out and get one of these veteran quarterbacks that eats up their draft picks and their draft cap or their salary cap, then I will say a Kenny Young, a Josie Jewell becomes important because you're not going to have much money to spend at that point, and you can get these guys for cheap.
And especially,
go ahead.
If you get the Rodgers, right, you're like, oh man, we're going to miss out on a Devin Lloyd. We're going to miss out on a lot of these guys. But looking at, there's some guys out there, I would say that would be worth the trade. Like, especially if the Kyler Murray stuff is still going on, going on by the time draft comes around.
Yeah, because you got enough time to recover from the picks you lose. My biggest fear of an Aaron Rodgers trade is that the Broncos overpay and he ends up retiring because they can't win because they have nothing around him.
Or even if it's
3 years worth of picks and then he retires after year 1 or 2.
Or even if let's say we get a Peyton Manning treatment, right? 4 great years with an Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Which, hey, I'm all for. I'll say it. I'm all for 4 great years.
I mean, you don't want to turn it down.
Yeah,
I get you.
4 great years. I mean, man, we haven't had 4 great years in 6 years.
Right. We haven't had that in almost a decade. So I get people wanting to win. Yes.
But even after that, you're still going to be recovering from those picks, the stuff you gave away for him.
Yep.
But, I mean,
you're going to have to recover. Still. You got to put all that. Yeah,
it would be great still. I mean, that was the same thing after Peyton Manning. But even though with Peyton Manning, you didn't trade for him, you signed him with money. You had to sign him. He was cut. There was no trade. But even then, you gave up quite a bit of money for Peyton. You signed DT to that big contract. And then you got Vaughn to the big contract after the Super Bowl. All those guys. And then that's when it started to steadily decline because you didn't have enough money to get these guys that you would like to get in there. And then you go through the draft. It's a hit or miss in the draft. You never know what you're going to get in the draft. You'll know what you're going to get. You're not going to exactly know, but you're most likely going to know what you're going to get in a trade or a free agent signing.
I got you. Well, we had a question in the chat. So I figured we got a little bit of time to kill before we get onto our last subject of the day, which is the mock draft. So let's go ahead and let's jump over. And this actually is a perfect lead into the mock draft. We're going to go through who the Broncos sign and who they won't re-sign. And this is the list of unrestricted free agents. Let's just go ahead and go. I'm just going to bring all types just for the Broncos, just here for y'all. Y'all see. All right. Everybody can see my screen. Everybody good?
Yep. Sorry, I was checking my phone.
No, you're good. All right. So this is the list, and y'all see how extensive this list is of the Broncos free agents. So we're going to start at the top. Kyle Fuller, let him walk. Do you agree?
Definitely.
All right. Melvin Gordon, let him walk. Do you agree?
See, I'm 50-50 on a Melvin Gordon. Right?
Caveat, right?
Right. It's obviously it's like, oh, we got Javonte Williams. And a Mike Boone. But
right.
I mean, you could get Melvin Gordon could take a little less money than what he's $8 million right now, I bet. If he's willing to stay, because I don't think he wants to test free agency. He's willing to stay.
I mean, he's willing to stay, but what I've seen, it's like he'll stay if they go and get a veteran and he'll take a pay cut.
Yeah.
If they don't, I'm not sure he wants to stay. And if they don't get a new quarterback, I doubt he takes a pay cut.
It's like one of those things. I'd love for him to stay, but I wouldn't mind if he walked. Because obviously, look at that.
At the right price.
Yeah, at the right price. That tandem backfield was great. The duo backfield was great last season. Obviously,
it was.
Melvin had a good year.
Crop is deep too.
Yeah. But it's like Melvin had a great year. One of his best years as a Bronco, I'd say. Well, obviously, the fumbling gets a little old. And the arm tackles after a 2-yard gain starts to get a little old. But the man's still a great running back. Don't get me wrong. He's in the league for a reason.
Right. Most definitely. So it looks like we both kind of agree. At the right price, maybe. Mm-hmm. I think we can both say the same for Callahan. At the right price, maybe. Kareem Jackson, definitely at the right price. We'll take you back.
And I bet you, Kareem, is willing to take another pay cut to stay. Or even if he takes another $5 million, that's perfect for one more year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see him walk.
Yeah.
Again, at the right price.
I love Kareem.
Teddy Bridgewater, bye. I'm not even giving you a chance to answer. Bye.
I think we run it back another year. No, I'm joking.
Right. AJ Johnson, I say let him walk. Between the injury issues and the physical limitations, again, unless you get him at the perfect rate, which I see another team, just like with Melvin Gordon, they're going to see something in him and they're going to offer him more than the Broncos are willing. And that's perfectly fine.
Same for another one like the Melvin Gordon, 50-50.
Yeah.
Get him for the right price, great. If he doesn't want to and he wants to go, good by me.
Right, exactly. Bobby Massey, I mean, he had his moments, but I think he's just too old. I say let him walk. We've already discussed Stephen Weatherly, so y'all know about that. Excuse me. Shamar Stephen, I like him as a depth piece. So again, if you can get him at the right price,
utilize him.
Yeah, they used him perfectly. He was, a rotational piece, made some plays here and there. So yeah, if you can get him at the right price, bring him back. Michael Ford, I mean, if you need
that cornerback, yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's just depth. I mean, he's not going to make any difference.
But look at that, guy. $1.2 million.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say keep him for depth.
Yeah, I mean, he had moments. He was decent in coverage,
especially with all the injuries.
And he's still young.
Especially with all the injuries last year, he did went in there and did what he had to.
Yeah, he's only 27 years old, so he's still young. All that good stuff. Cam Fleming, again, just like Massey, it's not the age thing with him. I just don't think he's athletic enough for this system. So he needs to. He's much more of a power run gap scheme kind of tackle. I don't see him fitting in this zone scheme. So just let the kid go. Eric Sauber, I really like him as a depth tight end. As y'all see, he made less than $1 million. If they can bring him back again at that number, I think he is a great complement to Fant and Okwuegbunam. He is,
or even just a steady 1 mil.
Yeah. I mean, somewhere around there, you can get him right in that range. I say bring him in. He's a great third tight end. He blocks, he does all the dirty work, but he's also athletic enough that you can get the ball in his hand, and he can make some damage. He can do some damage every once in a while.
And we both agree we're set on Alberto on our starter, right?
Noah Fant.
You're still Noah Fant guy? I love no. Like I meant like between us. Like I would love to see an Alberto start over a Fant just to see because he had a better year than Fant last year.
I want to see. I like to see them used in tandem. I think they are a perfect complement. Yeah,
it's kind of like the Javonte Melvin thing.
1A, 1B. I mean, I like the ceiling of Fant, but the floor of Okwuegbunam does look better.
Yeah, Okwuegbunam is just more of an athlete, in my opinion.
I mean, he's a freakish. I mean, him and Noah, they're both freakish athletes. That's why I love them being on the field together. Noah just needs to put forth more effort. That's my biggest problem.
Also, Noah Fant's not as great as a blocking tight end than Alberto is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the effort on the blocking is what the biggest problem is. And that's going to be a big sticking point with this because his new offensive coordinator is an old tight end and tight ends coach. So if anybody can get it out of him, it's going to be Justin Outen. That's another.
And we're going to see both of those guys shine this year. All those tight ends, I bet, shine. Especially
in this offense. Like y'all remember Shannon Sharp, right? Y'all remember the damage he did in Shanahan's offense? That's going to be a lot of what
let's be real. The man was more of a receiver than he was a tight end.
He was, but so is Noah, and so is Albert O.
But the thing about Shannon that separates from other tight ends is the man knew how to hit.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's just jacked is the thing. It's like he's big, jacked, and fast. Shannon Sharp was the first new age tight end. He was literally changed from wide receiver to tight end by Shanahan his rookie year. He came out of college as a wide receiver, but they put another like 30 pounds of muscle on him and turned him into a tight end and the greatest tight end in Broncos history and arguably at least top 3 tight end of all time, if not top 2, between him and Tony Gonzalez.
I can't believe that man didn't make it into the NFL 100 team.
I am
the fact that Gronk went in over him.
Yeah. Most definitely. I 100% agree. I don't like that at all. But getting back to these free agents, Nate Hairston, again, another depth piece that had some nice moments. So I would not mind seeing him re-sign to a small contract. So yes, grab Hairston, Saubert. So we've got 3 out of these so far. We got 3 signings: Weatherly, Saubert, and Hairston. So that takes care of your depth at pass rusher, tight end, and cornerback. Brett Jones, old, did nothing, let walk. You agree?
Yeah, I let walk. You can find somebody in the draft or free agency to back up. I'm blanking on the name, dude.
Lloyd Cushenberry.
Yeah, Lloyd Cush. Yeah, Cush, the boy.
The Cush. Yes.
Yeah, Cush. That's how I always call him. Yeah, no.
The push for Cush.
You need to get somebody younger that can back up Cush.
And I guess this is the day of me admitting mistakes. I will admit, during the draft, I did the push for Cush. I was wrong, guys. I'm sorry. Cushenberry. I just called him Kushner.
Jared Kushner?
Right. I don't know why that came out. But Cushenberry, I was wrong. The kid, I mean, again, like I've said, I think he'll do better in a zone scheme. I don't think he was well fit for a power gap scheme.
He'll be a lot better this year.
I think he's much more of a depth piece at center, and you can get by with him for short periods of time. But I would not want him as my starter.
I mean,
yeah, I would not want him as my starter. Micah Kaiser was an absolute waste of a roster space. He did absolutely nothing this year. Let him walk.
Obviously, 850. That shows you why.
Right, yeah, Josie. I mean, he made more than Josie Jewell, and at least Josie played some games. Micah
Josie Jewell's actually a better athlete.
Surprisingly enough, when we're talking about Josie Jewell being like the ultimate white boy linebacker, that's just all about instincts and has no
Lynch vibe to
athletic traits. But yes, he is actually more athletic than Micah Kaiser.
Josie Jewell is a 50-50 for me as well.
Yeah, 50-50. I mean, if you can get him. I say let him walk. And again, y'all will see why once we reveal my mock draft here in a few minutes. Kenny Young, we've already explained. If you get him back at the right price, he's a great addition. Like, he really seemed to take over that locker room. I like his veteran leadership. So if you can get Kenny Young back, if for nothing other than a depth piece, a special teamer that, to go along with Jonas Griffith
And the man just knows how to track down a ball.
Yeah. He's just got a nose. Yeah, he's got a nose for the football, most definitely. So if you can get him, yes. Deshaun Williams, another great depth piece that did some nice things, still kind of young. So if you can get him back on a veteran minimum deal, grab him, yes. So that's depth at D tackle, inside linebacker. Deontay Spencer, we've already said bye. Straight in sink it. Brett Rippon, he's a restricted free agent. He's been here too long. They're not letting him go anywhere. He's good depth at quarterback.
I mean, man, look what he did when he went into games.
Yeah, exactly. PJ Locke did some nice things. He's a restricted free agent, so he's not going to go anywhere. We've already spoken Jonas Griffith. We really like the kid. He's an exclusive rights free agent. He's going nowhere. Adrian Killens.
I don't even know that name. That's one name out of all on this list I've never seen.
Right. Adrian Killens, he's a power back. He's a Javonte Williams light, another exclusive rights free agent. So he's going nowhere. Malik Reed, as we've discussed before, you can never have enough pass rushers.
And he's also restricted.
Yeah, he's also restricted. He stays. Andrew
Beck,
I
mean, the man, I think, was he our leader in sacks this year?
I believe he was either first or second, but he did lead the team last year.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, top two or three this year, leader last year, you got to keep him around, especially with the lack of depth at that position.
Andrew Beck, I would keep. Nice to have a fullback. He was.
I don't like how
tight end turned to fullback.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll get more. He'd get more work in this offense, but this offense needs more of a actual fullback, not a tight end playing fullback.
But also, from what I've said to you, and everybody should know, the fullback's a dying breed.
It really is, but luckily, I mean, this is an offense that utilizes a fullback. They actually,
and if you could get one in free agency or a draft, late round.
I mean, you can always get them late in the draft. Like you said, there's such a dying breed. Very few teams use them, so you can usually get a top end starter. In like the 5th round or later.
I mean, fullback dying breed, like you don't see them like you used to anymore, especially like Howard Griffith.
Right.
That could run the ball, but could also block on the run and hit.
There's very few of those. Like off the top of my head, there's Kyle Juszczyk in San Francisco and Patrick
Ricard. Touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yep. Patrick Ricard, who I believe is in Baltimore now, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think that is, and he's an animal too.
Yeah. Those are the only two off the top of my head I can just be like, yeah, they're really, really good.
It's one of those 50-50. You can get them for cheaper or even that same price. I could be okay with an Andrew Beck.
Yeah. But always is always, you're always looking to upgrade every position. So if you find an upgrade, definitely go and grab it. Natrez Patrick, probably another name a lot of you don't know. He's an inside linebacker. Nice. He has some potential. I'd like him as a depth piece. He's a restricted free agent. So why not just go ahead and tender him, keep him for depth. You can always cut him later. The restricted free agent tenders are non-guaranteed. So if you're cut before the beginning of the season, you don't get paid. So it doesn't hurt you. And then Calvin Anderson, he's been the swing tackle for the Broncos for the last few years. He seems to do well in short stints. It's when he gets into longer stints, like at the end of the year when he played the last 3 games due to injuries, he gets into trouble. It's when teams start to figure him out. So I think he's a good depth piece. Keep him at a low contract. Seems like a good swing tackle that can handle right or left tackle in a pinch. Go ahead and keep him. So there you go. We've shown you who all they're going to keep. No real big stars or star-studded lineup.
Are we going all 7 rounds on your mock draft?
What's that?
Or on this mock draft, are we going all 7? Or are we doing first?
We're doing all 7, but we're only going to do the Broncos picks. I'm not going to go over every single pick. We're just doing a 7-round mock for the Broncos. So actually,
we talked about that. That's later episodes.
Yep, that's later episodes. You got it. This one's just about the Broncos.
I was I don't remember us doing it this week.
Nope. It's all good.
That's a whole show if we're gonna do that.
Yeah, once we do a full first round mock, And I got Dylan for the day and everything. We'll do a whole show on just a first round mock of walking down every single pick in the first round.
While you set that up, I'll be right back.
Oh, I'm about done, but go ahead. Right. I'll wait for you.
Yeah. You could, you just bring it in. I'm just running upstairs to go let the dudes in.
Oh, gotcha. Go for it. Oops. Oh, picks. There we go. Boom. Oh, can't reveal it yet. There we go. All right, we're all set up and ready to go. Dylan will be right back here with it. And I'm going to take a drink while I wait. And while I wait, let's see. Who does the Broncos need to trade up and possibly try to get in the draft? I'm glad you asked because, again, we're doing a mock draft. But the problem with this is this mock draft, I forced myself not to make any trades. So while Dylan's gone, I'll go ahead and give you all the juxtaposition of the rules that I put on myself for this mock draft. So for this mock draft, I wanted to keep it just as plain as day before the NFL Combine because a lot of things are going to change between this week and next week when I reveal my next mock draft 2.0 for the Broncos post-Combine. This is my pre-Combine NFL mock draft where I didn't allow any trades. Next week, I'm going to do some trades and have some fun with it and show y'all what's possible if the Broncos keep their picks and how they can move up and down the draft board. So I'm glad you asked this question this week, but it will be something that I will actually answer next week. So a little bit of a tease for y'all. Appreciate the question there, babe. And as always, appreciate you, Nika, for showing up. Nika says, hey, Trade Trail. And I see more people than I see likes. Please, people, when you come in, hit them buttons, like I said, especially the red buttons. Yes, there we go. There we go, people. We appreciate you. As many people as like.
As I was saying, I'm not even in it, not liking it, and I'm just calling people out.
There we go. But Dylan is back, so let's go ahead and jump in to Dan's Draft 1.0.
I'm joking.
So y'all will see, this is how, and I forgot to let y'all know, I did not make the picks outside of the Broncos. So all these picks you see before and after the Broncos are done by a computer simulation. So
this computer's stupid if they think Jacksonville's going to take Aiden Hutchinson.
Hey, man, it just goes off of the big boards and stuff. So that's what, but I mean, it's pretty accurate. I mean, that's why I love this mock draft simulator. I use the draftnetwork.com mock draft simulator. And I'm a big enough nerd. I pay for it so that way I can do trades and stuff.
Okay. That Jeremiah Johnson, that's another one I would like to see if he falls to Denver, if we're not able to get our.
Yeah, Jermaine Johnson right here, the edge.
Jermaine Johnson's
from
an
Florida
animal.
State. He really is. He is something different off of that end. Him and Kayvon Thibodeau. But all right, so as y'all can see, Aiden Hutchinson, Kyle Hamilton. This is another one right here that would surprise me. A safety going number 2 overall, but I guess. But as you can see, this is my first pick, Devin Lloyd.
Look at that, man. So, that's the face of
the face
born killer in football.
Yes, of a natural born killer. Most definitely. The man
takes heads.
So just to let y'all, see y'all can see a few of the other players that were on the board that I could have chose from. You have Charles Cross, the O tackle out of Mississippi State. But he's more of a left tackle. Broncos really just need a right tackle more than anything. Jamison Williams, probably the best wide receiver, in my opinion, in this draft. Did some really special things in Alabama, but again, Broncos are stacked. Ahmad Gardner, a really good cornerback out of Cincinnati, not needed. And every quarterback was on the board. So I guess y'all can call this the building around Drew Lock draft.
Malik Willis. Okay.
I will tell y'all right now, I did not take a quarterback in this draft.
There's not one I would want to take in this draft.
Yeah, exactly. There's a point. There's a reason why I did not take a quarterback, and Dylan just said it. There is not a quarterback really in this draft that I am just head over heels.
I mean, maybe if you can get one super late that you think maybe you could utilize or just have there for depth.
Right. Yeah. Like maybe, I don't know, a Desmond Ritter in the second round or something like that is a possibility. And you'll see, I had those chances. But again, this is me doing the best. Again, I did no trades up, down, anyway. I could have. Y'all have no idea how painful this was for me to not do trades, because with this mock draft simulator, it's not only can I initiate trades, but the computer will initiate trades with me and ask me to move back and give me multiple picks. So it was really painful not to do this. So just to let y'all know how much pain I went through. But again, Devin Lloyd, we've talked ad nauseum about this kid, how much I love him, what he can do, what he can't do. So y'all understand
and
exactly
look what that man
why.
did in Utah, out of all places.
Right. And again, he's 6'3", 235 with speed, with power. He's just a freak. So that is the Broncos' first round pick, 9 overall. Now we're going to get into the second round where stuff gets fun. Broncos have 2 second-round picks. So first second-round pick coming up is, and this is why I said you'll love this draft, Travis Jones, interior D lineman, probably someone y'all have not heard of. But if y'all have not heard of Travis Jones out of UConn, put some respect on this big man's name. He
And
is 6'4",
UConn,
328 pounds of pure manimal. This guy is a nose tackle of the highest order. I am going to put this man on the level of a Vince Wilfork type. That's the ceiling of this kid. And you get him in the second round.
Vince Wilfork, what a man.
Yes, right? He is a beast.
I can agree. I will totally agree with this. But UConn's not a place where UConn's not really a football school. You don't see many people come out of UConn. It's a basketball school.
It is definitely
women and men's basketball school.
Yeah. And this is a guy that he turned down offers, as y'all see here, Boston College, Temple, Rutgers, and Buffalo, to stay at his home school of UConn. And the biggest thing that I love about him, it's that he's that big dancing bear that everybody loves. And it's another reason why I comp him to Vince Wilfork. Because if you go back to all of Vince Wilfork's teammates, they will tell you he is one of the people that they love the most. He's just an awesome guy. He was an awesome leader, awesome in the locker room, off the field. It didn't matter where it was. The man was just amazing in every way possible. That is Jones. That is this man right here, Travis Jones. He will transform this run defense of the Broncos. That's how good this guy is.
Travis Jones, man.
Travis Jones. Look up his tape. You will see this man just rip people's souls from their chest.
If you just look at pictures of him, you're like, oh, he doesn't seem that athletic, right? But like you said, I've seen some of his highlights before. Man's athletic. He's got the Mickey Mantle gene, like a lot of people say.
Yes, exactly. He's just special. He's just special. Now we're going to the second pick right down here. We're getting closer. Oh, yep. There it is, 64. 32 overall. And this is where we have fun. Like I said, you'll love this draft. There's a lot of big uglies up in here.
I just got drafted, boys.
Dylan Parham, interior O-lineman from Memphis. Another school you wouldn't expect to have a draft prospect, but this tells y'all how deep I go. I don't just look at the Power 5 schools. I don't just look at, the Alabamas, the Oklahomas, the USCs. I dig deep, people.
You got to go look at those schools like Memphis, NC State. You got to look at all those schools.
Kentucky.
Even.
Like a lot of people, they only think about Kentucky as a basketball school. They've been, as of late, pass rushers have been coming out of freaking Kentucky like it's just water flowing down the river. Like it's insane.
But I am a basketball Kentucky fan. I don't usually pay attention to football.
That's why I brought up Kentucky.
But you usually see me wearing one. It's usually the only hoodie I wear around here.
Right. Y'all are going to see his measurables and you're going to think, why would you get a guy that small as an offensive lineman? Again, saying a guy at 6'3", 285 is small is saying I'm small. That's almost my identical measurements. I'm 6'4" and I weigh 275. So if you think somebody's small, if you think he's small, I'm small. I'm just saying. But the biggest thing with Parham is that he is a freak athlete. As we have been saying over and over and over, this offense doesn't need the biggest offensive lineman. They need the most athletic. And if you'll look here, the man also lettered in basketball and track. Okay? Think about that. An offensive lineman,
3-sport athlete,
that lettered as a linebacker and tight end in high school, and also a basketball player and track and field participant. And he lettered. He didn't just get on the teams. He actually earned his letter in each one of those sports. And he
maybe made some state appearances.
Right. He went to Memphis as a tight end, and they converted him to an offensive lineman. So he is an absolute freak athlete at the offensive line position. And that is exactly what Nathaniel Hackett and this offensive coaching staff are going to be looking for. And you're going to be seeing and me saying this quite a bit throughout this draft. So again, so far we have inside linebacker Devin Lloyd, interior D lineman Travis Jones, and interior O lineman Dylan Park. Are y'all catching a theme here, right? Have y'all figured it out, right?
I have.
Or out yet? You have? Yes. I'm sure Dylan has, because we have said this over and over and over. You build a team from the inside out. My first 3 picks are all interior something: interior linebacker, interior defensive lineman, interior offensive lineman.
It's like also one of those where it's like, they're not just going to play one single position. They could move around.
Exactly.
You could put Partham at like a right tackle, or you could even move him inside and put him as a right guard, left guard, whatever.
Right. Yes, exactly. Or, the thing I like with this, and this was my thought process, is I'm going to actually take Parham and I'm going to kick him over to left guard, and I'm going to take Dalton Reisner and put him at what I believe would be his best position in this offense at right tackle. That's my thought process while I was going through these picks, is that I'm going to take Reisner, I'm going to make him my right tackle, and then I'm going to take this Parham kid, I'm going to put him at my left guard that's got to do all of the major pulling. So just that freak athlete to run around, and then let Reisner just go out there and maul folks on the corner, on the edges.
Colorado made
and born, baby. And this might be, outside of the Devin Lloyd pick, this might be my favorite pick, the next one coming up, because he reminds me of one of my favorite Broncos of all time. And this kid, Nick Bonito, the reason I say is he is essentially a slightly larger version of Elvis Dumervil.
Oh, yeah.
The reason he drops this far is because of he's kind of a tweener. He's that guy. He seems a little small to play outside linebacker in a 3-4, but yet a little big for an outside linebacker in a 4-3. So he just seems like that kind of tweener, and he is a versatile player, but he mostly aligned as an edge. One of the most recent comps I can give him is like a Hassan Reddick. He's that guy that he does everything so well that he was just never really given a niche. He was never really given one position to just excel at. But I think his biggest asset is his speed and athleticism off the edge and his leverage. For those of you that don't know, Elvis Dumervil won not because he was the biggest, fastest, or strongest. He won because he always had the best leverage because he was so damn short.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
he was like 5'11".
One of my favorite highlights is when he just pile drive Tom Brady into the turf.
Greatest hit ever. Yes, him and Von Miller probably had the 2 nastiest hits ever on Tom Brady.
Which one are you
ever.
talking about on Vaughn? The one in the AFC Championship or the one earlier in the season? Okay.
The
The
championship
AFC Championship one's good, but the overtime one in the snow where he just drove him
I mean,
into the
that one's
ground.
pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty close. I don't know. But yeah, I think the stakes of the AFC Championship game just kind of give it a little bit more gravitas.
I remember the day break. Like it wasn't the speculations was Schefter, dumbass, said that he retired before he did. And then it was right after Tom announced it himself. I remember the Broncos posted that happy retirement. It was just Tom Brady getting killed by Elvis
Yeah, exactly. That's a great meme. I love that you brought that up. But again, so now we have the inside linebacker. We finally went to the outside, Nick Bonito. We got ourselves an edge rusher who again is an absolute steal at this point. I don't think that once it comes down to it, that Nick Bonito, especially after this combine gets through, and he really gets his measurables out there, I don't think he'll last this long. But again, at this point in this draft, he fell this far. I had to snatch him up. I just could not pass him because, again, I see an Elvis Doomerville in this kid. Excuse me. Now we're going to move on down to the next pick in the round, number 96 overall. This is another kid that I am shocked that landed this far. After this week, I don't see this kid lasting into the third round. There's no way. And he's Cam Taylor-Britt. And as much as it pains to say me about a Nebraska kid being a Colorado fan, this kid is something special on the outside. And he's really been that way since he stepped foot in Husky Nation, or Huskers Nation. So, with that being said, I mean, he literally can play. He can play slot. He can play outside. He's got length. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds. I mean, he just really can do anything when it comes to being a DB. You could even put him back in safety because I love the way that he comes up and runs support. He reminds me of a Kareem Jackson, something of that nature, but I don't think better size.
A lot of people know most safeties were cornerbacks in college.
A lot of them were. I mean, it's gotten to a lot more specialization nowadays, but yes, definitely there's a lot of cornerbacks that could be switched to safety. But this guy right here, he is a pure cornerback that can play safety. It's not, he's not just one of those hybrid guys that, you might want to move to safety because he's not really going to. No, this guy can stick at corner and he could be the lockdown opposite Pat Surtain. And then you can let Isang Basie be the slot guy just running around the middle of the field with the little guys from the other side, from the other offense. So again, another guy I am absolutely shocked lasted this far, but would be an absolute beast of a get in the third round. So far through 3 rounds, I have selected at least 5 starters. Every one of these guys, they're not just going to come in and contribute. They would come in and start even on this Broncos squad. And that is the last pick of the third round for the Broncos. Let's move on over to the fourth. Broncos only have 1 in the fourth, I believe, if I remember correctly. But we have this kid right here. This kid is another one of those tweeners. He's a really big safety, and he's got speed for days. He is yet another one of those small school places. He's from the University of Miami of Ohio. So that those of y'all that see Miami know that is not the Hurricanes. This is the Red Hawks, which, funny enough, used to be the racial slur that was in Washington before they changed to the Red Hawks almost 10 years ago. But anyways, Sterling Weatherford. This kid is a freak. He's 6'4", 215 pounds, and will probably run somewhere in the 4.3s or 4.4s. He is that big nickel linebacker. He is what Will Parks used to be, but is bigger, faster, and stronger than Will Parks could have ever imagined being. So think Philly Will on steroids. That's this guy.
I love me some Philly Will, but I would like me some Philly Will on roids.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I made that comp. He is Philly Will on steroids without actually being on steroids. Like, let's make that clear. I'm not saying the guy's actually on steroids, but y'all know what I mean. This kid is special. He is a bit of a developmental, like sub package guy, probably in his rookie season. But another reason why I've made this pick is I think he could help out the special teams. If y'all have watched us, y'all have known how just infuriating this special teams unit has been. And has been a lack of speed, athleticism, and coaching. It's not just coaching, even though Tom McMahon might be the worst special teams coach in the league. He also didn't have much to work with. So I give the guy some credit, but I'm still glad he's gone. And I'm happy to see Burt's and his new special teams staff coming in and doing their thing. I'm looking forward to that. And this is kind of a gift to him. Sterling Weatherford, a guy that can play on defense, contribute in sub packages, and they can just go out there. And he's that kind of guy that you're going to see screaming down on punt returns, just blasting folk, just bodies flying. That's the type of fire and just nastiness that this kid plays with. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, did I lose Dylan? Or is
no, I'm here
with me. Okay, gotcha.
I was looking at the drafts picks right here.
I got you. I believe that is
and
the
I'm
only
getting some
pick.
dumb text right now that I have to respond to for this weekend.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So there we go. Yep. Only pick in the fourth. Now we're back to the second pick of the fifth round. This is an all-time name as well as a good pick. It is Sincere McCormick. He is this is why I say let Melvin Gordon walk. I believe this guy is the perfect complement to Javonte Williams. He's a little smaller, 5'9", 205. He comes from another small school. He comes from the University of Texas, San Antonio, one that made waves and actually made it into the top 25 this year. So it's not like he's just a small school prospect. I mean, you could say that you would have liked to have seen better production against the better teams on his on his schedule when he played teams like Oklahoma, places, things of that nature. A Power 5 team, he kind of disappeared, but his speed, his athleticism,
it's one of those steals that you could get.
Yes, I think that because of his size and the worries of him being in a small school, he could absolutely be a steal in the fifth round. Like, this is a guy that on talent and production alone should probably go somewhere in the bottom of the first round, top of the second round. Like, that's the type of talent that he has. But again, because he's only 5'9", he's barely over 200 pounds, and he comes from a really small school and he didn't succeed against power conference. Like, he didn't have a 200-yard game against Oklahoma or nothing. He's going to drop. And so Sincere McCormick, I think, would be the ultimate lightning bug to Javonte's thunder. And they would just be an ultimate combo. And you found yourself not only a depth piece, but a number 2 running back in the fifth round. I mean, that's just how deep this draft is when it comes to running backs and wide receivers. Like, I mean, you see here, look at all these running backs. They're still going off the board.
Yeah.
Here
Son Haskins. Yeah, I see him falling that far.
Yeah, he's just got some questions here and there about his athleticism, but there's Zamir White. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I mean, and tight ends is another really deep position. And I think the Broncos only have one fifth rounder, right? Nope.
Yes.
Nope, we got 2. Here it is. Max Mitchell, offensive tackle, Louisiana. This is a developmental prospect to me, but he is the best combination of size and speed and strength left in this draft at the O-tackle position. And he can play both. He can play left tackle or right tackle. So if you feel he's better than Garrett, you can stick him over at left, put Garrett at right, leave Dalton at left guard. You know, it just gives you so many options when you do things this way, the way that I have built this, of ways that you can make this team better. So this kid, he'll probably toil away on the second team. I don't see how you get him through on practice squad. If you take this kid and you put him on your practice squad, he's not lasting. Like, he's a developmental prospect, but he's good enough that teams are going to want to have him on the 53 because he will be able to come in and help in a pinch at the least, if not actually earn a starting role before the end of his rookie season. So grab this guy, develop him, let this offensive staff get a hold of him. He is a perfect, he is the prototype of an offensive tackle in this zone scheme. And again, you get him in the 5th round, a potential starter in the 5th round if he's able to develop quick enough before the end of the season. And I think that's the last one of the 5th round. Yes. All right. And we have one pick left here in the 6th round. Or is it the 7th round? I don't know. I'm going crazy. Or you know what? I'll make it easy this way. Because we only got one pick left. Yep, right here. 7th round, 247 overall. Mike Harley.
Yeah, at least you're not Mr. Irrelevant.
No, you are not Mr. Irrelevant, and neither is this man. If y'all want to see exciting highlights, go look up Mike Harley, University of Miami, yes, Florida. Okay, this is a hurricane. And again, a guy, I don't see how he lasts this long because he is the perfect replacement for Deontay Spencer. And he would be a perfect backup to KJ Hamler. He's 5'9", 175 with all
that's right around what KJ is, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think he's a little lighter and about the same height.
KJ's 5'9", and what's this guy's weight? 175.
5.
KJ, yep. I don't see his weight here.
I want to say he's like 180.
179.
179. So there you go.
Well, that varies. That's just what we know right now.
Right. That's what's written down. I mean, he could be 150 for all we know.
Yeah. Or he could be up there 185 to 190 about now. Especially with the torn ACL, he could be bulking up a bit.
1,000%.
Hey, that wouldn't hurt KJ. Get a little bulk on him.
No, not at all. You don't want to bulk him up too much because you just love that speed.
Yep.
But you definitely want to put something on. But again, here you guys go. This is the full 7-round mock draft for your Broncos. Again, 1st round, Devin Lloyd. 2nd round, Travis Jones and Dylan Parham. 3rd round, Nick Bonito, Cam Taylor-Britt. 4th round, Sterling Weatherford. 5th round, Sincere McCormick and Max Mitchell. And then final pick, 7th round, 247 overall, Mike Harley. Can y'all say that you don't love this draft? I know some of you will.
Oh, I love the draft I love the no quarterback draft.
Yes, me too. I am such a proponent at this point that if the Broncos don't get Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, or Deshaun Watson, I just want to run it back and just use these picks. Tell me that you don't see this is just another draft that would be just like last year for George Payton, where you end up with 5 or 6 starters in one draft. Again, like I've stated, there's probably a couple of these guys that end up going before this that, might not last to the Broncos picks.
Yeah.
But again, the Broncos have the ability to trade up and down.
Not again.
Just to prove y'all, look, just so you know I'm not lying, no trades were performed during this draft. No draft picks were harmed during this draft. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, once we get into this and I show y'all what I'm able to do moving up and down the draft, this is going to get a whole lot more fun. But this is just like an exercise to see who might be available before the combine. And that way we get a contrast, because next week, again, I'm going to show you how that's going to change, how these guys will move up and down draft boards just with the combine. And then we'll do another draft after the pro days and show y'all how that changes. So you're going to be able to see all these things I'm saying. That's why we do these things, is so that way we give you a actual visual representation. And you're not just like, oh, well, y'all are just talking crap and y'all don't know what you're talking about. This is me giving y'all the visual representation of what is possible. So, Tay42 family, what do y'all think? Do y'all like the draft? Do y'all like, what I did here? Do you not like it? Is there players that you might have taken over who?
I need to run it back.
I need to run it back. We're definitely going to run it back. We're definitely going to do that. From your 1.0 draft picks, who do you think will likely surprise the NFL with their skills, and who may be an upset with their lack of skills in the NFL? When it comes to my draft, the biggest surprises, I believe, are going to be the Sincere McCormick and Mike Harley picks. Those two picks, I believe, would be the biggest upsets for where they're drafted. Fifth rounder and a seventh rounder becoming major contributors, starters, maybe even superstars with their type of talent. So I think those would be the biggest upsets and surprises. What about you, Dylan?
No, yeah, obviously, yeah, I will agree with that completely. I don't have anything else to say on that.
Okay.
You worded it how I would have.
There we go. Perfect. All right. Well, I think that is a perfect place to end this. We actually have more likes than people in here. Y'all are awesome.
About damn time.
Matthew Cameron, appreciate you, brother, for coming in. As always, much love. And for the Answers 42 Media Network, Bird Gang Sports Media Network, and the Breakin Broncos podcast, I am your host, Dan Wetstein. That's my guy, Dylan Miles. And as always, don't question the blue.